Okay, we are live in our Facebook group. Let's go live here on Instagram. Let's see. Let me pull up the live. Let's see. No, we don't want to be live on the stories. We want to go live on IG. Okay. We're going to go live here. Checking for connections. We're going to go live on TikTok as well. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to go live on 6 different platforms today. All right. So we are live on about 6 different platforms today. We're going live. First of all, we're going live here in the Facebook group Sales Revolution. We got about 19,000 of you guys following me around over there. We're going live on my personal Facebook. We're going live on LinkedIn, YouTube, the Facebook business page. Got about 66,000 of you in there. We're also going live right now on TikTok. We just got on TikTok a month ago. Like 15,000 of you following us over there. And we're going live on Instagram here. We just opened up an IG account back in November. We already got like 76,000 of you guys over there. All right, so today we're going to do a training here for the next 15 to 20 minutes. And what I'm going to do, because everybody keeps coming to me like, oh, why, you know, the people that I'm selling to always say that they're going to get back to me, or they're going to say that they're going to look it over and get back to me. Why do people not have an urgency to buy now? Okay, there's some major reasons why that is. So what I'm going to do today, due to, not being able to have time to train you for 7 straight hours right now on why that is and what to do to fix that, is I'm going to give you 3. I'm actually going to give you 5. I told you 3, but I'm going to give you 5 top. I'm going to give you the 5 top consequence questions. Consequence questions really help your prospect challenge their way of thinking that allows their current situation to keep happening, okay? So I'm going to give you the top 5 consequence questions that will help build massive urgency in your prospect's mind to buy now, not later, which also greatly reduces your prospects at the end of your presentation, whether it's a 1-call close, whether it's a 2-call close, whether you're in a more complex sound environment that might require multiple calls and touches that could take 3 to 6 months. Greatly reduces them saying at the end, this looks good. We really need to think about it, and we'll get back to you if we're interested. Or, you know what, I need some time. I need to talk to my spouse about it. I need to talk to my business partners. I need to talk to the board. There's a reason why they keep telling you that, because that is not a real objection. People don't sit around and think about it for weeks on end. So I'm going to give you the top 5 consequence questions you can use, and I'm going to show you how to use them in both a B2C environment, business to consumer, and both a B2B environment, business to business, because we train people over 160 different industries at this point. So we're going live here in the Facebook group, Sales Revolution, my personal Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, also the Facebook business page on my desktop and on my phone. We got 2 phones here. We got the TikTok phone. We're going live over here with you guys. We just opened an account here in TikTok a month ago, and we're going live here on this phone. We call this the IG cell phone. We're going live with you guys over here, all right? Now, if you are brand new, you're like, who the heck is this guy going live here? I'm the founder. My name's Jeremy Miner. I'm the founder and chairman of 7th Level. We're a sales training organization that trains people exactly like you watching me right now. So we train sales professionals like you. We train coaches like you. We train sales executives like you, sales managers like you. We train business owners, entrepreneurs like you, consultants like you. And we help you transform the way you and your team sell by learning specific skilled questions and techniques that actually work with human behavior. Now, what does that actually mean? We're going to talk about that, okay? Rather than work against it, okay? Because maybe what you've been trained is actually triggering sales resistance in your prospect, okay? So those are known as neuro-emotional persuasion questions. It stands for NPQ. We teach you the right tonality, put your prospects at ease, eliminate sales pressure, and triggers the prospect to want to engage with you, to want to open up to you, because you might have something that is important for them. Okay, you're going to see that. Now, if you want to know more details about how we can help you sell a lot more of your products and services than you are now, like we have for thousands of our clients at this time, there's a reason why Inc. magazine ranked us the #1 fastest growing sales training company in the United States last year on their top 5,000 fastest growing companies list. Probably because we get results for thousands of different clients in tons of different industries, okay? Industries that you're selling in right now. So if you want to know those type of details so you can sell more, if you want to start making 10 grand a month in commissions, if you're a salesperson, or 15 or 20, grand a month in commissions, or 30 grand a month in commissions, or maybe 40 or 50 grand a month in commissions with selling exactly what you are now, then just message me directly. If you're on IG, message me directly. TikTok, message me directly. YouTube, I don't think you can message me, but you can say hi. Facebook group, Facebook, message me. LinkedIn, message me directly. If you can't figure out how to message me directly, in the comments, post hashtag NEPQ, and either myself or somebody on our team will message you more details and training options so you can sell more of what you are right now. Okay. Now, if you're on the live right now, I want you to go to your phone and I want you to post hashtag live. So if you're on the live right now, go to the comments, post hashtag live. I better see a bunch of those, or I'm not going to give you guys these 5 top consequence questions that are going to build massive urgency in your prospect's mind to buy now, not later. So if you're on the live right now, go post hashtag live. And if you're on the replay, go post hashtag replay. Okay. Now also go to your phone real quick and I want you to smash the heart button and I want you to smash the like button. I better see hundreds of smashed hearts and hundreds of smashed likes. We got about 85 of you on IG here on this live. We got about 45 of you here on TikTok on this live, about 60 some of you here in the Facebook group on live. So go smash the like button, go smash the heart button. We have you do that because it creates more engagement and more people are able to see this training. Now, also, one announcement that we have that my chief marketing officer said, hey, don't forget to tell everybody on the live about our live event. So if you're a sales manager who wants your team to sell a lot more than they are now, if you're a business owner wanting to scale your company, maybe from 7 figures to 8 figures or 8 figures to 9 figures, or if you're like small guy, 6 figure to 7 figures, okay? If you're an individual salesperson who wants to make double or triple or more than what you are now, then we have a free 3-day. So write this down, a free 3-day virtual sales challenge event starting next week on how to become a top 1% earning salesperson. So we have a free 3-day virtual sales challenge training next week, next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, on how to become a top 1% earning salesperson in your industry. Who wants to become a top 1% earning salesperson in your industry? Good Lord. Okay. I would hope you want to. That's going to be hosted with me and my business partner and CEO of the company, Matt Ryder. Okay. Now, just a little bit of background on Matt. Matt was one of my top students when I started 7th level about 3.5 years ago. And I brought him on as a CEO about 18 months ago. Okay. I took Matt from making about 20 grand a month in commissions. He was already doing really well, to making over 100,000 a month in commissions. Okay. And getting into the top 1% of the top 1% of all salespeople in the world selling anything. Okay. Brought him on as a CEO of the company 18 months ago. We are both going to be training you. So you're going to be trained by me. Okay. I don't know if you know much about me, but during my 16.5-year sales career, I sold over $279 million worth of sales. Let me repeat that. In my 16.5-year sales career, I sold over $279 million worth of product in 4 completely different industries, 2 B2C and 2 B2B. I know both of them like the back of my hand. And I made a bit over $33 million in straight commissions. No salary, straight commissions. Made a bit over $33 million in straight commissions in that 16.5-year period. Do you feel that me and Matt can help you learn advanced sales techniques to sell more of your products and services than you are now? Possibly. I'm just going out on a limb that we could possibly help you. So write these dates down and make sure you register. My team is going to drop the registration link. They're going to drop it here on LinkedIn. They're going to drop it here in the Facebook group. They're going to drop it on my personal Facebook. They're going to drop it here on TikTok for you guys. They're going to drop it here for you guys on IG. You can register for free. You don't even have to pay for this. We're doing this free for sales professionals, sales managers, executives, and business owners. Okay. So you have to go to the link to register. If you do not register, you will not be able to attend the free event. I believe we have it capped at 2,000 people, 2,000 registrations. Okay. So write this down. It'll start next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So next Tuesday, so that's May 10th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check your local listings. It'll also be on Wednesday, May 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then Thursday, May 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you register today. We announced this yesterday just in our Facebook group without anybody else. We didn't announce anywhere else. We already had over 800 people register in one day. We can only have 2,000 people on this. I'm assuming that by Friday, maybe even Thursday, we will be completely booked out. So make sure my team's going to drop the registration link in here for you on whatever channel you're going, because we're going live here on 6 different channels, some on my desktop, some on these 2 cell phones, okay? Make sure you register today if you want to learn those skills. Now, here's what you're going to walk away from the 3-day challenge knowing exactly what to do. We don't talk about theory on the 3-day sales challenge. We give you tactical training, okay? Because theory is not going to help you that much, all right? So here's what you're going to know how to do walking away from the 3-day event next week. Number 1, you're going to learn how to effectively sell to today's cautious, skeptical buyers. You know who I'm talking about. When you get on your calls, when you cold call, when you go door to door, when you're on with an inbound lead, an outbound lead, I don't care what industry you're in, you know prospects are getting more cautious and more skeptical of making the wrong buying decision they have ever done before. Why is that? We're going to show you why. And we're going to show you why there's certain things you're saying and asking that's triggering them to respond that way. And we're going to show you how to remove that languaging and replace it with the right words and the right questions. So we're going to train you a 3-step process on how to become a problem finder. That means helping your prospects find problems they didn't think they had. How do you get a prospect to even open up? You can have the greatest questions in the world, but if you don't have the right tonality, if you don't know how to bridge from question to question, they're not going to open up and they're going to stay surface level with you. And that's why you get a lot of I want to think it over objections. We're going to show you how to eliminate that, okay? So we're going to show you a 3-step process on how to do that. Now, what does that even mean? We're going to give you access. Matt and I are going to give you access to never before released questions that will trigger your prospect to actually want to open up to you and actually go below the surface and tell you what their real problems are. Not just surface level stuff. You know that doesn't work. That doesn't move people to make buying decisions. We're going to help you with the right questions that they find out the root cause of the problems and how the problems are affecting them, okay? Some of these questions we have not ever revealed to the general public, ever. We are going to reveal next week, starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern next week, okay? Who wants to learn how to get your prospects to want to open up to you rather than throw up sales resistance and try to get rid of you? Who would possibly want to know that? Okay, I'm assuming it might help you for sure. We're also going to train you on asking the right questions, but at the right time. Now, what are the right questions you need to ask? How do you ask the questions? What should your tonality sound like? What should it sound like compared to what you do sound like right now? And finally, that's just part of day 1. Finally, on day 1, we're going to show you how to eliminate sales resistance from your sales calls, or when you have an in-person appointment, or when you knock on doors, or when you cold call on the phone, or if you have inbound leads that maybe meet you on Zoom, or outbound leads that you call on the phone. Doesn't matter, okay? So instead of prospects saying to you, we already have that, or we already use somebody for that, or we don't need it, or we're not interested, you're going to hear them start opening up to you, engaging with you, as the questions we give you access to will trigger so much curiosity in their brain, they feel compelled to open up to you because they feel like you might have something that could be very important to them. That's just day number 1. Now, day number 2, which is on Wednesday next week, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, make sure you register. Without registering, you will not be on. I can assure you that. Day number 2, how do you prevent objections from even happening in your prospect's mind? Have you ever heard of objection prevention? We're not even talking about objection handling. How do you prevent most objections from happening in your prospect's mind? One thing we have to realize is most objections are triggered by you, the salesperson, not by the prospect, by what you are saying and not asking, that causes the prospect to have uncertainty in their mind and not feel that you can get them the results you said they could. So they throw out objections like, I need to think it over. I need to pray about this. I need to keep doing more research. I need to get more quotes. I need to keep looking around. Your price is too high. We don't have the money or budget for this. We've already talked with somebody about this. I need to talk to my spouse. I need to go over this with the board and see if they're interested. And if they are, I'll get back to you. We're not interested. Can you send me some information? Or can you send me some information? If I'm interested, I'll call you back. Can you email me some information right at the beginning of a call? Can you send me some references? I don't have time to do this. Those are just a few of objections we're going to help you overcome. How many sales do you lose every single freaking week because of just a few of those objections I just listed. We're going to go over many more than that. That's just day number 2. We're going to show you how to change that forever. And day number 3, the grand finale, why your sales script you are using that you've probably been given by your company actually sucks. I'm sorry to say that. It's triggering sales resistance. Even if you're doing decent, you could be doing way more. It's triggering your sales resistance. And we're going to show you why your script is triggering sales resistance, what words you're using, what questions you are asking that's triggering that resistance. And we're going to show you how to remove that and replace it with the right questioning that gets the prospect to want to engage, that gets the prospect disarmed, where they want to continually engage with you throughout the whole sales process from A to Z, where they start to view you as the expert, the trusted authority who's going to get them the results they want. Compared to all your competitors, they're just going to view them like just another salesperson trying to stuff their solution down their throat. How on earth do you want to be viewed yourself? Okay. Now, write those dates down again. Starting next Tuesday, May 10th, 6 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, May 11th, 6 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday, May 12th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The training will last about 60 minutes per day, and then we will open it up for about a 30-minute Q&A after each day's training, where you can ask Matt and I any freaking question that you want. All right? Does that help everybody? My team is going to drop the registration link here on each of these channels: TikTok, IG, LinkedIn, the Facebook group, Sales Revolution, the business Facebook page, my personal Facebook. We'll try to get it to you guys on YouTube as well. Team, I don't know if somebody... Hey, we got to get that registration link to everybody on YouTube as well, somebody. I'm just trying to help you guys out. I don't know how we're going to get it to you on YouTube. We'll figure that out. All right, let's go through the training, because we still have a training today that I'm going to give you access to, even after all that. All right, so let's talk about the 5 top consequence questions to ask that get the prospect to build massive urgency in their mind. You've reached a point now in your sales conversation, okay, the sales process you're at, where you have to get your potential customer to think about the consequences of not doing anything about changing their situation. What happens then? Okay, these are primarily asked after your solution awareness questions, where you get them to see what their future is going to look like once all these newfound problems that your skilled questioning has allowed them to see they have, that when they first started talking to you, they didn't think they had it all. Okay, so we call that, here's their current situation. We call that their current state. Here's where they want to be. We call that their objective state. What's the gap? All these problems that your questioning skills has allowed them to see they have. Now, if you're not building that gap, that's why you're getting so many objections, and you're getting so many people who say they were ready and then they just stall and never do anything. That's the reason why. Okay, so once they feel and see what their future looks like, okay, their objective state, we want to rip that away from them by asking consequence questions that get them to defend themselves on why it's so important for them to change now, not later. Okay, the what if they just stay in the status quo and nothing changes type of questions. So let's discuss consequence questions, okay? There's 2 formats to this. So your goal is to get them to address what will happen if they don't do anything. This is where you use the question, what if? It's the what if question, okay? And let me give you a few examples, and these are generic, not industry specific. Then I'm going to give you some industry specific examples so you can see it in about 5 or 6 different industries, okay? Once again, I don't have time to give 200 different industry examples on here in the next 10 minutes, all right? So what if you don't do anything about this problem and the situation gets even worse? Now, you would just plug in what the problem is. Okay, but what if you don't do anything about this and the situation gets even worse? What happens then? Notice how I'm showing empathy there, my tonality. Do you see that? Do you hear that? My body language? Okay. Okay, but what if the product you're thinking of using doesn't get you the results you want? Okay, but what happens if the service you're thinking of going with doesn't actually get you the result you want, though? See, that's a consequence question. That's one format to use it. You're simply taking a problem that they told you they had in that discovery conversation that they want to solve, and you're going to ask them a question around that problem that allows them to think about the consequences of not doing anything about solving the said problem. Now, let me give you an example. Let me give you a note here. Average salespeople average salespeople like to use the customer's problems in a manipulative way to bully the customer into buying a product or service. And that's why they don't sell that much. That's why they freaking stay average. Your goal is to not force anything, but rather to empower your prospect to realize that they themselves have the power to change their own situation by purchasing your solution to solve their problems and get where they want to go. So consequence questions are structured into two formats. Here's the first, okay? So you're going to ask a question that gets them to think about the problems they may not know they have. Sometimes your experience from your industry dealing with so many prospects that you've already helped allows you to see problems that this prospect you're talking to doesn't know they have. For example, let's say one of your existing clients that you already have, okay, is thinking about leaving your company and going with a competitor. They're thinking about changing to a different vendor. Okay, let's say if you sell B2B or something. Or let's say if you sold insurance and they're thinking about switching a policy to a different company. You're going to lose the deal, okay? You're going to lose your residuals, okay? Different industries, it's all the same. You're going to ask them something like this. So have you considered what would happen if switching to a different company doesn't get the results you said you want, though? Have you considered what would happen if switching to a different company doesn't actually get the result you want? And they're going to say, well, yeah, possibly. Or they're going to say something like that. They're not just going to agree. They're like, yeah, I've thought about it. But, okay, if there was a way, and I'm not saying there is yet. I'd have to know a little bit more. But if there was a way that we could get the same results you want without having you to do all the work of switching and changing over to a different company, would you be open to looking at that as a possibility? If there was a way we could get you the same results you want without having to do all the work of switching and changing over to a different company, would you be open to looking at that as a possibility? Now, I want you to see how your prospect reacts to that. No one is going to say, nope, we would not be open to that. They're going to be like, well, yeah, what do you have in mind? Okay, that's format one. Now, format two is this. Write this down, okay? You're going to ask these questions right after you ask your solution awareness questions like I mentioned earlier, okay? Your goal is to get them to picture in their minds what will happen if they don't do anything about changing their situation. Consequence questions help build urgency to do something about the situation now rather than later. So let me give you a few examples of this format, generic, and then I'm going to give you some industry-specific examples so you can see the format so you can plug in what you sell. Have you considered the possible ramifications about not doing anything about this situation? Have you considered, okay, what are the ramifications, though, if you guys don't do anything about this situation? Or have you thought about what would happen if you don't do anything about this, though? Okay, but have you thought about what will happen if your company doesn't do anything about this? See how I worded that? Okay, here's another one. Okay, but what if you don't do anything about this and you repeat back their problem. Okay, but what happens if you don't do anything about this and you repeat back their problem for the next 3, 6, or even 12 months from now? What happens then? Okay, now the number of months or years would depend on the product or service you sell. Some products or services might look like something like this. Okay, let me give you an industry-specific example so you can see the format. Let's say if you sell B2C, you're selling business to consumer, and you sell windows. Train a lot of companies, a lot of salespeople in that industry. 160 different industries. That's one. Who would have thought windows have to be sold for houses, right? So in this example, let's say you sell windows. Okay, but what if and let's say their problem was cold air was coming in through these old windows and their electric bill was going up every month in the winter. Let's just say that. They live in Chicago. It's very cold. Okay, but what if you don't do anything about this, though, and you keep having this cold air coming through the windows and it keeps jacking up your electricity bill the next 3, 6, even 12 months from now? Okay, but what happens if you don't do anything about this? You keep having this cold air coming through the windows at night, and it keeps raising your electric bill the next 3, 6, even 12 months from now. Like, what happens then? Okay, let me give you another example that's a completely different industry. It doesn't matter what industry, you can plug this literally in anything, okay? In this example, let's say that you sell cars, train lots of car dealerships that are making 300%, 400%, 500% more in sales than they were before the training, even months ago. Okay, we train one of the biggest used car dealership in all of North America now. Okay, now let's say in this example, let's say that their problem was they're looking for a better car because the car they have keeps breaking down, and it's caused them to worry that, hey, they're going to miss work because the car keeps breaking down and they don't have a way to get to work. Okay, so let's talk about that. So that's how that would set up. Okay, but but help me understand, like what happens if you don't do anything about this? You keep having the same issues. The car keeps breaking down where you can't get to work for another 3, 6, even 12 months. What would happen to your job then? Okay, but what if you don't do anything about this? The car keeps breaking down and having these issues where it causes you to miss work for the next 3, 6, or 12 months. What would your employer do then? Oh my gosh, they would probably fire me. But see, consequence. Okay. Let's say if you sold lead generation services to companies, you're training lots of people in that space. Let's say you sell leads to coaches. Let's say you sell leads to consultants or real estate agents, or you sell leads to Fortune 1000 companies. Doesn't really matter. And let's say that their biggest problem is they have a low quality lead that they're having a hard time getting a hold of. So they're spending money, lower quality leads, not making as many sales. So what happens if you don't do anything about this? You keep getting these lower quality leads to your team. And like you said, your sales keep stagnating another 3, 6, even 12 months from now. What would happen to your job then? Let's say if you were talking to a C-level executive that was responsible for the sales team, or a sales manager who was responsible for the sales team. Their job's on the line, right? That's a consequence. You can't tell them that. You ask a consequence questions that allow them to see that in their mind and tell themselves. But what happens if you don't do anything about this? You keep getting these lower quality leads to your team where they can't get a hold of them. Your sales keep stagnating another 3, 6, or even another 12 months from now. Like, what would your boss do then? See the consequence, okay? Let me give you another industry-specific example. Once again, you have to plug in what your problems are, but you use the same format, okay? I'm just giving you a little smidget of this training. All of this plus, I'm just giving you like 1% of the 1% that's all in our virtual training and group coaching training exercises. Okay, so that our clients have access to. Okay, so let's say if you sold real estate training, or let's say you sold Amazon SBA. Train a lot of companies in that space too. So what happens if you don't do anything about this and you just stay in the same job, same income for the next 5, 10, 15 plus years? Like, what happens then? Okay. Now let's say if they come back, well, I don't know, I'd have to figure something out. You would say, well, are you willing to settle for that? See, I leaned in, showed empathy. Well, are you willing to settle for that? Well, I guess if I had to. Well, whose choice is it if you settle or not? Well, that's my choice. Okay, so how important is it for you? And we're going to repeat back what they said they wanted. And let's say in this example, they want to make more money so they can leave their job and have more time and have their own business. That's what most people do that want to get in. That's why they want to get into real estate investing, or that's why they want to start their own Amazon business or whatever online business, because they want to make more money. They want to have more time. So how important is it for you to start your own business so you can make more money for your family? See, I'm repeating back everything they said they wanted. Okay, that's a NEPQ qualifying question. Now, let's say I'm going to give you another example and something that we just went over, and I'm going to show you a different spin of it. Let's say that you're selling lead generation again to business owners. Okay, so how important is it for you to change your situation, start getting these higher quality targeted leads to your sales team so the company can get up to $7 million a month in revenue by the third quarter? See, I'm asking an NEPQ qualifying question after the consequence question if I need to. Okay, but how important is it for you to change your situation, start getting the higher quality targeted lead to your sales team so the company can scale up to $7 million a month in revenue by the third quarter? See, I'm repeating back what they said they wanted. If you were talking to a business owner, or maybe you're a C-level executive of that company, okay? Now, I'm going to give you I gave you a lot more consequence questions than I said I'm going to give you even 3 or 4 more. So make sure you write this down. Keep in mind, you have to adjust these based on what you sell your industry. Now, we teach you all that in our virtual training courses. I just want to remind you of that. Okay, so you want to learn those skills, just message me, because what I give you here in these little lives are like little 1% of the 1%, whereas our clients have 100% of everything. That's why they're in the same industries as you are in right now, and they're selling double, triple, and quadruple what you are doing now. What's the difference? Nothing. They just have the right skills. They have the right knowledge that's allowing them to do that. They don't look cool. They don't, drive Lambos or anything when they first start out. And some of them do now because they make a lot of money. Okay. That can be available too. You just have to learn the right skills. Okay. Here's some more. These phrases, these consequence questions are designed to respectively challenge and motivate your prospects to want to solve their problems now and do that with you. What if it didn't work out for you going with this other company? What happens if it doesn't work out if you changed over to that other vendor? What would happen if you don't do anything about this? Have you considered the consequences of not doing anything? Have you considered the consequences if your company doesn't do anything about this? What would it do for you personally to actually solve the problem, though? So you can ask that in a different way. Have you thought about what would happen if the company doesn't do anything about this? You just repeat back whatever that is. What would happen if you didn't get what you're looking for? Okay, but what happens if you don't get what you're looking for, though? Okay. All right. I just gave you a smidget today. If you want to start getting the same results like thousands of our clients are, there's a reason why we have over 6,000 unsolicited testimonials from our clients over the last 2 years and 3 months. Probably because they're getting massive results. I'm assuming that's why they give those massive testimonials. You might have seen a few of them. Okay. Now, if you want to get those results, just message me directly. If you're on TikTok, message me directly. If you're on IG, message me directly. If you're on the Facebook group, Sales Revolution, message me directly. If you're on LinkedIn, message me directly. My Facebook, message me directly. Okay. Now, as a reminder, if you missed what I said about registering for the free 3-day virtual training event next week, I'm going to go over that real quick and we're going to have my team drop. Somebody said gold. Hey, love this. Yes. Well, you're welcome. Okay. So if you want to learn those skills, I'm going to give you the dates for the 3-day virtual sales challenge next week on how to become a top 1% earning salesperson in your industry. Who on here wants to learn the necessary skill sets, the right words, the right questions to ask that put you in the top 1% of all salespeople in your industry that you are right now? Who wants to make 10 grand a month in commissions? Who wants to make 20 grand a month in commissions? Who wants to start making 30 grand a month in commissions? Maybe 40 or 50 grand a month in commissions. That's all available for you. Okay. So if you didn't hear at the beginning, we're hosting a free 3-day virtual sales challenge next week on how to become a top 1% earning salesperson in your industry. So write these dates down and make sure you register with the link that our team is going to post, whatever channel you're on. Okay. We're going live on 6 different platforms right now. Okay. So write this down because if you do not register, you will not be able to attend. I promise you that. Okay. I'm not being a mean person, but I believe we're capped at 2,000 people registering. We just announced this only in our Facebook group yesterday, and we had over 800 people register in one day. So we only have 1,200 registrations left. Those will probably be gone no later than Friday, probably even by tomorrow. For sure, probably Thursday. If not Thursday, for sure, definitely Friday. The registrations will be done. I can assure you of that. Last time we did one of these challenges about 4 months ago, it was completely people registered for it like within 2 days. Okay. So I can assure you, if you don't register, you won't be able to attend, and don't get angry at me then. So here's what you're going to walk away. So I'm going to go over what you're going to walk away with, knowing what to do to sell more from the 3-day challenge. I'm going to go day by day. So day number 1, you're going to learn how to sell effectively to today's cautious, skeptical buyers. You know what I'm talking about. Today's prospects are more cautious and skeptical about making the wrong buying decisions than they have ever been before. And we're going to go over why that is. And we're going to show you what words you are saying and questions you are asking that's triggering them to not trust you. That's triggering their brain to be cautious and skeptical about what you're offering. Can you imagine not having so many prospects that are cautious and skeptical time? And if they are, from a previous experience, can you imagine if you knew what questions to ask that allows them to overcome that and trust you automatically? Okay. So we're going to train you the 3-step process on what it means to become a problem finder, not even a problem solver. What questions do you need to ask that help your prospect find problems in their mind that they didn't even know they had before they got into that conversation with you? When you're able to do that, they start to view you as the expert, the trusted authority who's going to get them where they want to be, compared to all the other salespeople that are just there to sell them something that they just put over in the corner, try to get rid of them, and then commoditize them. You do not want to be over there with all the average salespeople, I'm assuming, right? Okay, so we're going to give you never revealed, never released. Like Matt and I have never released some of these questions. You're going to be trained by me and Matt. So Matt is my CEO. He's my business partner of the company. He was one of my clients when I first started 7 Level about 3.5 years ago. And I brought him on as the CEO of the company about 18 months ago. I took Matt. He was already doing well. He was making about 20 grand in commissions with what he was selling in his job. After he went through an NPQ, within 5 months, he got up to 80 grand a month in commissions. Within a few months after that, he was making over 100 grand a month in commissions, selling the exact damn thing he was before as a 1099 salesperson working for a company. Okay. So we're going to both teach you that. In my 16.5-year career, I sold a bit over $279 million worth of products and services to my prospects in 16 years in 4 different industries, 2 B2C, 2 B2B. I know them both very, very effectively. We train over 160 different industries at this point. And I made a bit over 33 million, not in sales, in commissions. 33 million in straight commissions in my 16-year sales career as a W-2 or 1099 rep. Do you feel that between Matt and I, you could possibly learn how to sell more of your products and services than you are now? I'm hoping you can, because if you can, something's wrong there, all right? So we're going to learn also, what are the right questions to ask at the right time in your sales calls or conversations? What are the right questions? Do you know when to ask them? Okay. What should your tonality sound like? What should it feel like to your prospect? We're going to role play and show you examples. Okay. And finally, at the end of day number 1, we're going to show you the right wording and the right questions that eliminate sales resistance from your prospects on your sales calls, or if you're in person on a sales call, or you're knocking on doors, or you're cold calling on the phone, or you're having an inbound lead on Zoom or in the home, or an outbound lead that you're calling on the phone as well. What are the right questions? So instead of the prospect saying, we already have that, we're not interested, we don't need that, we already used for somebody that, we're going to show you how to get them to open up and want to engage with you and trigger enough curiosity in their brain that causes them to go below the surface and really open up to you and tell you what their real problems are and how the real problems are affecting them. That's just day number 1. Now, day number 2, you're going to learn how to get your prospects to overcome their own objections. We're also going to teach you different questions you can ask in your sales conversations that prevent probably 70% of the objections you're now getting from even happening in the prospect's mind. When I say that, people are like, oh no, prospects just have a bunch of examples. They just have a bunch of objections. It's not my fault. The prospects just have objections. Well, you might want to understand from behavioral science, most objections are actually triggered not by your prospect. They're actually triggered by what you are saying. They're actually triggered by what you're not asking that causes the prospect to have uncertainty and skepticism in their mind where they don't feel any need to purchase what you're offering, where they don't feel any gap. It's because what you're saying and not asking is triggering them to become skeptical. It's triggering them to have uncertainty in their brain. And that's why they're saying things like, I need to think it over, or I need to do more research, or I need to keep looking around, or I don't have the money or the budget for this. I need to talk to my spouse. I need to talk to the board and see if they're interested. Can you send me more information? Can you send me some references? I don't have time to do this. Okay. Those are just a few objections we're going to cover. Many, many more. How many sales do you lose every week because just one of those objections causes you lost sales because you can't help your prospect overcome it? We're going to show you how to never go through that pain again. It's easy once you learn. If you don't learn, what's going to change? Nothing. Day number 3, why your sales framework your company is having you use more than likely is triggering sales resistance. And we're going to show you the exact words and the questions when you open up the call that most scripts are written to that is actually triggering that to happen. We're going to show you how to remove that, and we're going to show you what questions to ask in the beginning of that conversation that actually opens a prospect up. We're also going to show you in day number 3 the right closing questions to ask. Not the option close. Do you want the red one or the blue one? Or when do you want to deliver? Tuesday at 5 or Wednesday at 3? That's what average freaking salespeople do in 2022. Don't be average, folks. It's not fun. You don't make very much money compared to our clients who are in the same industry that you're in that are probably making double, triple, or quadruple what you're making. They just have the right skills. It's not like they have, it's not like they're just cooler than you. They brush their teeth every morning like you, probably at night, hopefully. Maybe they floss like you. They probably put on pants when they get up in the morning. They probably take showers or baths. They probably have kids. They probably have stress and problems. What's the difference? The only difference is the knowledge they've acquired from being one of our clients by going through our virtual training programs. That's the only difference from them being up here and you being here selling exactly the same thing. That's the only difference. Now, each day, so Tuesday next week. So the challenge starts Tuesday next week, 6 p.m. Eastern. You got to register. If you don't register with the link, you will not be on because we're not going live in the Facebook group. It's on a Zoom link. You have to register. We're capped out at 2,000 people from what my CEO is telling me. We're going to cap it at 2,000 people, okay? So Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Day 2 is Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And day 3 is 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. So Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, okay? And then Thursday is day number 3, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Check your times over in Europe. If it's 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm sure it's going to be 10 or 11 at night, your time, depending on where you're in Europe. And check your local times in Australia. I think 6 p.m. Eastern is around 8 in the morning, Sydney time the following day. Just check your local listings, okay? Make sure you register. We're going to drop the link in here. I'm 16 really hard to close clients from SMMA. We have a 16-year-old client that actually makes 12 grand a month in commissions. Has nothing to do with your age. It has everything to do with your skill level. Okay, thanks everybody. I'm going to shut down TikTok on this phone, shut down IG on this phone, and shut down the Facebook group, LinkedIn, my personal Facebook, the Facebook business page, and YouTube on my desktop. Make sure you go register. Bam, bam, bam. We're going to have fun. The training will last about 60 minutes each day. And after the training's over, after that 60 minutes, Matt and I will open it up for additional 30 minutes. So make sure you block out an hour and a half each day at 6 p.m. Eastern, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The training will last for 60 minutes, and then we'll have a 30-minute Q&A where you can ask us any question that's on your mind about selling. See you guys next Tuesday. I will also go live in the Facebook group tomorrow, only the Facebook group tomorrow, not IG or TikTok, only the Facebook group tomorrow, Sales Revolution. So if you haven't joined the Sales Revolution Facebook group, my team will send that link in here right when you join. Actually, just register for the event and it will give you, it'll let you join the Facebook group Sales Revolution. So if you're on TikTok on this phone, if you're on IG on this phone, once you have the registration link, which I think my team has dropped it in here a few times for you. Yeah, okay. Felicia, let's make sure we drop it again here on IG. And whoever is managing TikTok, let's make sure we go ahead and drop that link there. I don't think anybody's dropped the link on the TikTok account, Val, if you're listening to me. Okay, so Val, hold on. Let me make sure. I don't think anybody's dropped the link here. Hold on. Okay, we'll drop the link on TikTok for you guys. Somebody didn't drop the link. Hey, Avery, can we drop the link on TikTok? Somebody's dropping the ball on the team. I'm a stick man on you guys out there. Okay, so we'll drop the link here on TikTok. Nico, I'm not sure. I don't know why. Can you show us proof of your credit score first? Yes, Zora. Let me pull up my credit score for you on all 3 bureaus, and then I'll send that over to you. Would that help you for me to train you more? I mean, we already know all these sales skills. It doesn't have any impact on us if you don't learn them. Who would it have an impact on? Possibly you. Anyways, I'm just giving you a hard time. Okay, so we'll drop the link on TikTok, IG. We love you guys. Facebook group. I am going to go live tomorrow with one of our clients at, I think, yes, I'm going live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern with one of our clients. And we're going to break down his sales process. This guy went from making $4 grand a month 4 months ago. And within 3 months, he was already making over 20 grand a month in commissions. His 4th month, he made 29 grand a month in commissions, selling the exact same thing. What's the difference? His sales ability, his sales skills. He knows the right questions to ask. He knows the right tonality. And that's why he's went from 4 grand to 29 grand a month consistently now within 4 months of the training. So if you want to see that breakdown of his sales process that we're going to go through that we taught him, make sure you go ahead and register for the event, and then it will give you access to join the Facebook group Sales Revolution. The Facebook group Sales Revolution will go live in there tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And then I will see you on the virtual event next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern is day number 1, how to become a top 1% earning salesperson in your industry that you're in right now. I got to go, folks. Love, peace, and all. I'm going to stop the lives right